The secret of ultrasound machine. I was an uneducated, ignorant man. And my wife was very educated. She was doing a good job. She had to rise and sit among educated people. She married me because she could not become a mother. She was barren. This was one of the main reasons between her first husband and her divorce. I loved my educated wife very much, because I could not imagine that a poor and ignorant man like me would get married to an educated and beautiful girl. When suddenly my wife got pregnant, there was no end to my happiness. She would take me to the hospital with her every day and undergo an ultrasound for 3 to 4 hours. I used to sit outside the hospital room. I was completely ignorant. I didn't know how long the ultrasound takes. She used to tell me that it takes only 3 to 4 hours. One day she went in, and it was more than 3 hours. I was curious to see how they do the ultrasound. So I went inside, but the scene I saw inside, that took ground out under my feet because. Subscribe to our channel to hear the full story. That day was tiring. I returned from work tired. My mother was very happy at home. I got very surprised and asked my mother what is the matter. So my mother laughed and said that, "You go and get fresh first, and then we will talk while eating." When I came after getting fresh, Mother had already put food on the dining table. "I am very happy to talk to you, and you will also be very happy with the news I am going to tell you," said my mother happily. I was surprised and asked my mother what kind of thing this is. "Tell me too." Then Mother laughed and said that there is the daughter of one of my acquaintances. She is a very beautiful and educated girl. But she was married earlier and now she is divorced. And now they want to marry her again. I couldn't believe my mother's words. Because I was neither beautiful nor rich nor had a good job. No girl was even friendly with me, so why should an educated and beautiful girl marry me? It was like a dream. I asked my mother again if she really wanted to marry me. I had not seen the girl's face, but my mother admired her very much. I was very happy that an ignorant man like me got married to such a good girl, while all my family members used to laugh at me saying that I am not worthy of a girl to marry me. However, the day came when I got married to this beautiful girl. Her name was Ariana. She was really beautiful. She used to talk to me very well and take care of all my needs. Her attitude doesn't seem like she's educated and I'm ignorant. I started to love her a lot. I was forced to take care of her and try to fulfill every wish that came out of her mouth, because I was doing a very menial job. She used to work herself and earned many times more than me. Ariana took 2 months leave due to marriage and I took only 2 days, because if I took more leave they would fire me. After 2 months, Ariana also started going to work. We both felt for each other. Ariana was a good wife, but now my only desire was to have children. I knew that Ariana could never become a mother, yet I prayed to God to give me an Ariana children. But I never expressed my desire to Ariana so that her heart would not get hurt. One night when I opened my eyes, Ariana was not in the room. I called Ariana and started to leave the room when Ariana entered the room with a glass of water and said she had forgotten to keep a bottle of water in the room. She was feeling thirsty, so she went to drink water. But now it often happened that Ariana was not in the room at night. I was in a strange dilemma. Questions were rising in my mind that why and where did Ariana leave the room while I was sleeping? But I didn't ask Ariana any question about it so that she can't get hurt thinking that I am doubting her. A few days later my mother died. Now Ariana and I used to be alone in the house. Nowadays, Ariana started to be very quiet. She didn't talk much, but stayed alone. I also think that maybe I am thinking wrongly. Thinking this, I ended my illusions. A few days later, Ariana's health suddenly started to deteriorate. She was not even going to work and I could not leave her in such a condition. I took her to the doctor. The doctor checked Ariana and then prescribed some tests. When the test report came, Ariana and I were overjoyed because Ariana was pregnant. God had heard my prayers. After hearing the good news, the doctor prescribed medicine for Ariana and told her to rest. I redeemed Ariana's job. Ariana now rests at home, takes medicine strictly. I take care of her food and drink. Ariana did not do the housework. In the morning, Ariana would cook her own food. She would come back early from work and clean the house, clean the kitchen and dishes. Ariana also washed her own clothes. Ariana would say don't worry about me so much, but I wouldn't listen to her. Ariana's health was much better for a few days. She had joined her job again. She didn't want to leave such a good job. I didn't need her job. I never took her salary from her nor I did ask her where she spends her salary. She herself told me that she keeps her salary in the bank. One day when I came home, Ariana was not at home whereas she used to come home 2 hours before me. I called Ariana and her number was off. I was worried that her condition might not deteriorate. Half an hour passed when the door opened and Ariana came in. I went to her and asked her where she was. Ariana told that she had gone to the doctor after office and the doctor said that it was time for her daily ultrasound and that the phone had run out of battery, so the phone was switched off. I told Ariana that now I will go with her to get the ultrasound done, but she said no. I will go alone. I said to Ariana, no, Ariana, I will go with you. So Ariana said that it takes hours to get the ultrasound done and men can't even go inside. I said I don't have any problem, I will sit outside and wait. She didn't like it but I was worried about her so I ignored her mood. Ariana was taken for ultrasound from the next day. She go inside and come out after 3 hours, and I used to wait for her. I asked her why it takes so long. What are you doing inside? So she used to say you know what happens in ultrasound, it takes so long, and I used to believe her because I was uneducated and ignorant. Now I used to take her for ultrasound as usual, and today she went in for ultrasound as well. And I sat outside and waited for her. When more than 3 hours passed and she did not come out, I anxiously circled the corridor of the hospital. And as soon as I went inside, I lost my senses because Ariana was not there. I searched like crazy for her but she was nowhere in that room and in the whole hospital. Unfortunately, I came back and sat outside and anxiously waited for Ariana. Different thoughts were coming in my mind and I was getting worried. I was sweating when I saw Ariana coming out of the same room, and very hard to control myself. I normalized myself and asked Ariana, "Is everything fine? Why is it too late today?" So she said yes, there was more patients today. My turn came very late. I did not ask Ariana any more questions and went home with her. I was struggling all night and could not sleep. I was thinking that where Ariana is going, my head was exploding. Ariana was sleeping peacefully. I made tea for myself and took a headache pill, while Ariana also woke up. She made her breakfast and got ready to go to office. I told her that my health is bad, so I will not go to work today, so she gave me medicine and went to the office. All the events from the marriage till now began to revolve in my mind. Ariana marrying me, then disappearing from bed at night, and then getting pregnant while infertile, and then having a 3-hour ultrasound, and then disappearing from the hospital. All these things were getting very interesting for me. When Ariana returned from the office, she started preparing to go to the hospital. I told her that I am not feeling well today. You go to the hospital alone because I did not have the courage to suffer any more trauma. She also did not say anything and went to the hospital alone. When she came back from the hospital 3 hours later, she looked sad. I was lost in thoughts as if I was worried about something. I started looking at her carefully. I could not bear to see her sad face, because I loved her so much. But I could not even ask her, "Why are you sad? And where do you go from the hospital?" The next day Ariana and I went to work. My mind was also distracted at work, so I took leave from work and went home. Seeing me coming home early, Ariana started asking me that is my health fine. She seemed worried about my health. I told her don't worry, I'm fine, just came home early to rest for a while. I told her you also rest, then we will go to the hospital. After some time Ariana came to the hospital. Ariana went inside and I sat outside. 2 minutes after Ariana went inside, I went in quietly and was surprised to see that Ariana was going out of the living room window. She started crying because she was sitting in a car with an unknown man. A short distance away, the car stopped in front of a restaurant and Ariana went inside with this man. I also gave money to the taxi driver and went inside. I did not have the courage in my legs, but still I dared to go to their table. Ariana saw me and immediately stood up. Her face turned white when she was caught. Seeing me in front of her, only 2 words came out of her mouth. "Make you?" At Ariana's voice, that person also stood up and was scared to see me. I angrily grabbed Ariana's hand and walked out of the restaurant, taking her with me. He took Ariana with him and sat in the taxi and headed home. All the way past in silence. I was in deep shock. On the contrary, if any respectable person were to see his wife meeting other men in secret, he would have the same situation as mine. I came home and sat on the bed holding my head. Ariana also came to the room. She was very nervous. Ariana came and sat next to me and I left the room. My mind was not working. Ariana had also come out of the room when I suddenly shouted angrily, "Who was that man?" Seeing my anger, Ariana got upset and remained silent. I went to her and asked, looking at her, "Who was he, Ariana, because of which you turned my trust into dust? Why are you meeting him secretly? Why did you cheat on me? I loved you so much. And you gave me this reward." But she did not give me any answer. Exhausted, I sat down on the ground and put my head on my knees and started crying. I cried for a long time when Ariana's trembling voice told me that he was my first husband. I raised my head from my knees and looked at her. Ariana and Edward attended university together. Both of them became friends in university, and then friendship turned into love. Edward and Ariana wanted to marry each other. After graduation, Edward and Ariana got engaged and married 6 months later. Both of them had found love and they were happily living with each other. Days quickly turned into months and months into years. Their love never diminished. There was only a shortage of children. After 5 years, but they did not have children, Ariana also got her treatment. The doctor asked Ariana and Edward to get their tests done. A few days later, Edward brought the test report and told Ariana that his test reports were perfect and that Ariana was barren and could never become a mother. This news made Ariana cry. She was sick for several days. She wanted children very much. She could not bear this lack of her life. She had left everything to become a mother. Eating and drinking, she had lost interest in everything. Edward was getting tired of all these things. He wanted to see Ariana smiling and happy as before. He explained a lot to Ariana, but Ariana did not notice any difference. Edward used to explain a lot to her, but she couldn't get over the shock of how many dreams she had that she and Edward would have children and spend a full and beautiful life together. Edward explained to her that they would adopt a child, but Ariana did not agree to that either. But for Edward's happiness, she began to normalize herself and try to be happy with Edward so that Edward would not be worried about her. But after a few days, any such thing would happen that Ariana would get sad again. That's why Edward and Ariana started fighting and quarreling. Edward was fed up with her behavior, because now these quarrels became daily. One day the fight escalated so much that Edward divorced Ariana in anger. Ariana couldn't believe that Edward could divorce her. Ariana was shocked. Edward could divorce her. He went back to Ariana and started apologizing to Ariana that he did all that in anger, but Ariana said that everything is over now. He had told in anger that due to not having children, Ariana has no place in her life. Instead of understanding Ariana's pain and feelings, he wanted to see Ariana as a robot who kept smiling and laughing all the time. But Edward apologized profusely to her and persuaded her. But now news had spread among Ariana's family and friends that Edward had divorced her and that Ariana could no longer be a mother, because Edward divorced her. After so much disgrace, Ariana's parents were not willing to send her back to Edward, but they now wanted to marry Ariana to a good person who would understand Ariana and make her happy. That's why she made another mistake in Edward's love. She planned for Edward that she would marry a man who would divorce her after some time of marriage, and that she would marry Edward again. Edward agreed, but he wanted Ariana back. When once Mac went to their house from some work, Mac was both poor and noble. Ariana looked for an innocent and simple person who would easily divorce her, and Ariana would put all the blame on him. She told her mother that she wanted to marry Mac, so her mother forbade her, saying that he was an uneducated, ignorant and poor man, but she had to agree to Ariana's insistence. Then Ariana got married to Mac, but after marrying Mac, she became ashamed after seeing his love and sincerity. She had no intention of doing anything bad to me. She used to leave the room at night under the pretense of water and talk to her first husband, Edward. Edward would urge her to leave Mac, but she would put Edward off, saying that she would wait when the time was right. After some time she was about to divorce Mac when her health worsened and she found out that she was pregnant, and she was shocked because she was barren and could never become a mother. She then went to her mother's house and found her old reports in which it was written that she cannot become a mother. Then she went to the same doctor who made these reports and threw those reports in front of him and said that it says that I cannot become a mother but I am pregnant. And then she showed her new reports to the doctor. The doctor was worried at first and then shyly said that it was your husband who was infertile, not you. You could become a mother, but he could not become a father, and on his request the doctor made such reports that Ariana could not become a mother. Ariana couldn't believe that Edward could betray her so much. Then she goes to meet Edward under the pretext of an ultrasound and tells him the truth that she's going to be a mother and that she has learned the truth about how much Edward cheated on her. Hearing this, Edward was upset and apologized to her that he lied to her because he did not want to lose Ariana. He thought that if Ariana found out the truth that Edward could not be a father, she would leave Edward because Ariana wanted children so much. Ariana had made it clear to him that she now wanted to be with Mac. She also started loving him and now she was going to be the mother of his child, and if she had not married Mac and she had not become a mother, she would not have known how much Edward had deceived her. But Edward used to call her, so she went to see Edward for the last time today. And Mac saw them both together. I was listening silently to Ariana. She was telling me everything while crying. At first, I was angry with Ariana that she married me to use me, but I realized that at that time she was going through such pain that she did what she felt was right. And now she wanted to be with me, she loved me, and she wasn't meeting Edward with any ulterior motives. I asked Ariana why you didn't tell me all this earlier. She said that I was very worried and did not understand what to do. And now Edward will never contact me again. And hearing that it will not come between us, I was relieved and thanked God. I didn't want to worry Ariana anymore as she was already very upset, so I wiped her tears and took her to the room, reassuring her that we will be very happy together now. I love her very much and will take care of her very much. She hugged me smiling. Thanks for watching. If you like the story, then do like, share and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get more such interesting stories. And share your precious thoughts in the comments down below. Till then, take care, bye bye.